coming at you today with a PSA, a public service announcement. I spoke to a studio owner last week of 20 years, and she was only bringing in between $300 and $500 a month, which at this point in her life is definitely not enough. I hope you would agree with me. She really touched me, and I really felt that I needed to come on here and just have this discussion with you, plant this small seed. She was petrified of getting into debt for her studio, and I think probably personally as well, but specifically for the studio. And I wanted to just plant this thought in your head. There is good and there is bad debt. Let's start with the bad debt. Bad debt is taking your credit card and going and buying a pair of shoes. There's interest on those shoes, and there really is no return for that money, other than I guess you could argue that it makes me happy. But that piece of credit that you've used, that I would consider to be bad debt. Now, good debt is if I take that credit card, I make an investment into my studio, into my life, and I get a return for that money, especially if you can get that money at 0%, which I'm able to get you, by the way. 0%. So that means basically it is free money. It's free money. You can take that money and invest it into your studio and get a return on that. That is good debt. That is debt that you should be taking on because you definitely are going to see a return on that debt, if you want to call it that. Really, I don't call that debt. Yes, there's a payment that you have to make every month, but if you're investing in your studio in, let's say, marketing, in advertising, in maybe a piece of software that helps you get more students, or maybe even a coach or a mentor, then you are going to see a 100% return on that money and that debt is worth getting into. So a quick story of mine, if I hadn't invested years ago, I went looking for a coach because I knew that my business experience was not good enough. I was not in the place for me to grow my studio where I wanted to get it to. And I went searching for a really great coach, great mentor. And my husband and I were on like fumes. I had no money. It was like nothing. But I found the coach. I knew that he could help me. I knew that this was a worthy investment and that I had to do whatever it took to be able to get that money, to be able to learn more, because I knew that it was going to grow my business. So we literally took our last couple of $1,000s and invested in my coach, my first coach. And I attribute my success to that investment and that first coach. I have seen that money come back to me triple what I put out. And if I wasn't willing to take that risk, if I wasn't willing to get into that little bit of debt, I would not be where I am today. So I want you to not save yourself into bankruptcy. Please do not save yourself into bankruptcy. If your studio is not where it should be, if it's not bringing in the money, if it's not paying you, then you need to make an investment. You made an investment to get there. You need to make an investment to grow. If you are coming, like this particular studio owner was, looking for information, looking for advice, then her way was not working, but yet she was not willing to spend some money to find the way to work. Do you see how that doesn't make sense? I'm looking for advice, I'm looking for the education, but I'm not willing to get into debt or pay anything to further myself. So how is she ever supposed to get ahead How is she ever supposed to get ahead? Her studio is not bringing in enough to make the investment to grow. So she needs to somewhere find that money. So I hope that this lands with some of you. Again, I'm going to say it again because it's worth saying again. Do not save yourself into bankruptcy. I've seen too many studios who do that. There is good and there is bad debt. So reach out. I know now is a critical time to get those numbers up. Let me help you, but you also have to be willing. Have a great day.